Good afternoon, everyone. Icy start to February. Buckle up. And because it's going to be record cold in New York, let's take a look at 160 years of skating in New York City. GFS model, that white dot, that is a tropospheric anomaly. Take a look at it over Greenland. Below normal temperatures all across Asia. Extreme cold may have damaged the winter wheat in the United States and Canada. Riots in French supermarkets and Nutella. I can't imagine what they're going to do when they fight for real food. Please remember to join me February 1st with Christian from Ice Age Farmer and Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch Project on Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Studio A. 10 p.m. to midnight, we're going to talk about the grand solar minimum and some solutions. And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and click that bell so you can get the latest updates. And a quick look at the beginning of February. Snow, ice, and cold. Now this is a look at January 31st with the snow totals that are coming from the Great Lakes and going to make their way over the New England states. A couple feet where the darker reds are in the center, but when you get to the periphery, right at the edge of that blue there, that's going to be sleet. So please be careful while you're driving. And there's going to be record cold temperatures followed by extreme cold. So let's take a look. 160 years of ice skating in New York City. Lithograph here from 1878. This was just coming out of the mini ice age. And of course, every year it freezes in New York City. This shows you some of the conditions of the atmosphere as well as people's moods in this. Very important to take a look at some of the older lithographs to see kind of the feeling of society. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? And also what the atmosphere was like. Was it cloudier? Was it sunnier? Because these are things to look for: more cloudiness in the grand solar minimum with galactic cosmic ray increases. This image here, 1862. Pretty interesting to drop back in history. I've linked everything below so you can take a look. There's quite a few more lithographs on the site to take a look at. Hyperallergic did a great job compiling all that information together. It's worth a look. Taking a look at the GFS model for today, the 29th and 30th of January. Going to see some cooler temperatures pulling down over the New England states, but I want you to notice over Hudson Bay that white anomaly. That is a tropospheric anomaly. It pegs the chart. So when you see anomalies like this above, you know they're going to match on the Earth. As above, so below. Whether it's the atmosphere on the Earth or whether it's the cosmos on our Earth, there are reflections of magnetism and energy between systems and layers of systems. Jumping out to the 31st, you can start to see now where that cold is going to develop. Now this will be for February 6th, and these temperatures are in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So those of you in the US, remember 0 degrees Celsius equals 32 Fahrenheit. Here's a whiteout of that tropospheric anomaly. And as you're looking at this chart, please remember these are measured in degrees Kelvin. So obviously it's like Fahrenheit. The colder it is, the colder it is. So if it's -5 Fahrenheit, that's going to be a lot cooler than 32 Fahrenheit. The same thing here. If you're looking at 360 Kelvin compared to 220 Kelvin, that is a huge difference in temperature. And if you thought the cold was only limited to the United States and what's progressing into North Africa, of all things, below normal temperatures, just like we saw the snows in the Sahara Desert, it's snowing in Morocco, something fierce right now. They haven't seen this type of storm in over 30 years. I'll cover that in my next video. But over there in Asia as well, right over Vietnam and Hainan Island, below normal temperatures, but it's really far south, almost creeping into Southeast Asia. New Zealand's getting record heat. You know, our jet streams are all over the place, and they're expected to get even more out of place as our magnetosphere weakens even further. Now jumping over to farm futures, extreme cold may have damaged the winter wheat. Now that massive cold front that swept down over New Year's Day and into the first week of January, that damaging winter kill covered Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and then also it affected the red wheat belt in the Central Plains. About 5% of the soft red winter gone for sure, but you can imagine if it was a total kill, the plants that had survived, the protein content won't be there. Those are damaged plants. they're not going to have anywhere near the yield or near the protein or nutrition content that healthy plants would have. So a ton of wheat is not a ton of wheat any longer. We have to really look at nutritional content and protein. And let's jump over to riots in French supermarkets, running, trampling, pushing, tackling to get Nutella. Are you kidding me? The video speaks for itself. Watch people ripping boxes open and pushing each other on the floor to get to bottles of Nutella. They were going through the rate of something like 500 bottles every 2 minutes in one of these supermarkets until they ran out. Chaos over Nutella. So what's going to happen when real food like wheat and loaves of bread and consumables such as this, beans, rice, other things that are not... What if this is the last bag of beans to feed your family? If they're fighting this much for Nutella, oh, our society, we are in some serious, serious problems that we need to start talking about. Now, right now, I'm experimenting with magnetic motors because I'm so into the torus field, and the way that magnetics has been taught to us is far different than what it is. And I do believe using magnetic fields to generate electricity during the grand solar minimum to power your grow lights is going to be the way forward. But the governments don't like it because they don't get any tax money out of it. But you know what? In the grand solar minimum, you're going to be on your own.